Hello. Time for another VR. I was rambling around on YouTube the other day and looking at various videos and ran across a new hashtag called Tarot First. And it was posted by Logan over at Larkin Legend. So this is my VR to Logan. Hey, Logan. Um, and his new hashtag. Um, so let's jump right in. So, your first encounter with tarot. Okay, if you've been watching any of my VRs lately, there's been similar question asked, and so you've probably heard this story before. So here we go again. I have a neighbor who is has a YouTube channel. It is Katie over at Weather Shaman ASMR. She is a neighbor and a friend, and she got me interested in crystals. And I bought a box set of crystals, and I was about to bust to show them to her. Invited her over. We went in the room. They was in the bookcase, and she sees two other things caught her eye in the bookcase. And the first was this box, and she pulls it out and she says, "Oh my, do you know what you have here?" And I said, "Yeah, it's a tarot deck." And she said, "Yeah, but do you know what tarot deck it is?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's Mythic Tarot." She says, "This deck is This version of this deck is out of print." She said, "This looks like the original." So we opened it up, and copyright 1986. It's got the black backs, and it has the paperback version of the black book. And she says, "This is worth a lot of money." She says, "You have something really nice here." She said, "Can you read?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't think so." And so then another something on my bookshelf caught her eye, and it was another tarot deck. And it was the Native American tarot. And it belonged to my late husband. And it's got a tuck box, and the tuck flap is tore off of it. It's all raggedy and around the top, and you can see the cards have been well worn. But I held on to this because this was his, and I knew that he had an interest in crystals and new age stuff, metaphysical stuff before our marriage. It never became a part of our marriage. But this was something that was his, that he thought a lot of, that he kept, so I kept. And we start looking at that deck, and when I pick it up, it's like, and I noticed every time I picked that deck up, it was like I would feel something, but I thought it was just my connection to John. And so we went to looking through them, and they use hatchets for swords, pipes for wands, vessels for cups, and I think coins for pentacles. No, shields for pentacles. And I was like, I didn't know that much, but what I did, that confused me, because I was familiarizing myself by this time with Rider-Waite-Smith, and I couldn't make the connections. I kept confusing the pipes and the hatchets, the wands and the swords. And so, with much encouragement from her, and her asking me repeatedly to give her readings, I purchased myself a new deck. And the first deck, which I bought that Mythic Tarot all those hundreds of years ago, but I never really incorporated it into my life at that time. Other things, I guess, become more important. But I never got rid of it. The deck that I bought for myself after this new encounter with tarot was Tarot of the Enchanted Soul. And I got that deck because it had keywords on it. And I figured that would help me to learn the meanings and familiarize myself, with the deck. And soon discovered that while that deck was based on Rider-Waite-Smith, it did not use Rider-Waite-Smith images. So yet came another deck and another and another. And I don't have to tell you about the rabbit hole that I fell down. So the next question is your first tarot deck mass market and your first tarot deck indie. So my first tarot deck mass market was that Mythic Tarot, followed up by the Tarot of the Enchanted Soul. My first indie deck, once I went down this rabbit hole, I found some way or another, which we'll get into in a minute, my tarot tube, my first tarot tuber, was doing unboxings. One of the things, of course, I run across was unboxings, and saw Kickstarter and went to Kickstarter and saw a deck there, but I didn't know nothing about any of that, so I didn't get involved with that. And after the Kickstarter ended, this creator immediately put decks up on, I mean, once they went to fulfilling their orders, they immediately put decks up on their Etsy shop. And so my first indie was the Intuit. I think they called it Vice Versa then. And I think now they call it like flashcard. What it is you have one side of the card has a picture and a keyword. And a picture, the title, and one keyword. And the other side of the card has, of course, the picture, the title, and several keywords. And it's that way for the upright and for the reverses on both sides of the cards. So there is no back to the card. It's just two faces of the card. And I bought that deck off of their Etsy shop and thought, oh, this will be great. But by it not having backs on it, it confused me. I felt like I was defeating the purpose because I always knew what card was coming up before I would turn it over or whatever, And so, yeah, that was my experience. And things changed quite a bit after that. So, yeah. My first Kickstarter tarot deck, okay? So, this same house, this same creator, Intuit, put out another Kickstarter, and this one they created a new edition of their two-sided card, and they now called it, I think, flash card. And they put out a second deck that was going to be the keywords edition, and that was the title, a main keyword, and then a list of other keywords up underneath. And I was like, yes, this is what I want. This is what I need. This is what I want. And it had a regular card back on it. Over time, what was the initial thing on Kickstarter changed, and we went from 2 decks to creating 3 decks, which means some of the things on these 2 decks changed, and I had already backed the deck based on the pictures and the things that I saw. And when I first received my deck, the back changed. And I was very disappointed because it was not what I had wanted to buy. It got changed for more continuity between the 3 decks. Which was, like I said, very disappointing for me. I still like that deck. I still use that deck. But I don't know, in some ways, it's like that was my first Kickstarter experience, and I didn't know that things could change before the, final shipment. And it was a definite learning process for me. It's still a beautiful deck, but it's somewhat a little tainted for me because of that. But I'm not trying to badmouth them. This was my inexperience. It was my first experience with Kickstarter. There was a lot I didn't know, a lot I needed to learn, and I learned, and I learned kind of the hard way, which a lot of us do from time to time. So, the next question is your first tarot tuber, Lisa Papez. When I looked up tarot, of course, she popped up. She was the first, and then Dawn Michelle, and her doing mods, trimming and mods, and that was another rabbit hole I went down right from the start. And Lisa Papez and her wide variety of content that she has available on her channel. And then soon came others. Of course, I now have an extended list of people that I follow on TarotTube. I still watch Lisa. I found Kate over at Daily Tarot Girl. Oh, that was my girl too. I liked her. And Dawn Michelle, and it was Boho Tarot then. I think she's now since changed the name to Dawn Michelle Tarot. But Boho Tarot. And then I ran across Danny Mystic, and I kept hearing about Hermit, and I finally found Hermit's Cave. And then, of course, I went to hearing about Martin and Martin's Musings. And then, some way or another in the mix, I ran across Kay over at Admits the Gray. And these are some of my favorite people. Uh, to go to their, in April over at Tarot and Witchery. Um, I have subscribed to all of those channels and follow those channels. So, yeah. My first tarot book is Mary Kay Greer, Archetypal Tarot. I heard about the New Year spreads and finding out what your card of the year was going to be and how to find out about your personal card. And I'm a person that I'm the Page of Pentacles. I've got to know. And so um, I had to know. So I went to the source and I went to Archetypal Tarot to learn about yearly cards, personal cards, and so forth. My first tarot podcast, I've never listened to one. That's just something I haven't done yet. First tarot course. Okay, I'm going to use the word course here, I guess, my understanding of it. I haven't taken a professional course. I understand now that some of those exist. I haven't done that. But I did do Lisa Pape's tarot training wheels. I did go to Kate at Daily Tarot Girl and went through all of her beginner videos and learned so much from both of those women. So if you're new and you want to learn some things, check out both of those ladies. They have a lot of free course information up on their sites available. So I participated in both of those, and I'm now enrolled in doing some courses with Ethany over at Tarot Academy, Tarot Readers Academy. The first major tarot teaching that you relearned in a way that better suited you. It just came to me today when I was making my notes and preparing myself to do this VR to Logan. And it was like that epiphany. It came to me, said, well, the card that you have changed to suit you is the Hierophant. Long story short, the way that happened, Chariot, yearly card. My personal card for this year is Temperance. Temperance is number 14. You add 1 and 4, you get 5. Hierophant is number 5. Was told that I could have undertones of the Hierophant this year. Went looking, everything, well, not everything, the majority of what I found referred to Pope or Papal Christianity, so to speak. That just didn't sit right with me. That's not my jam. So, kept looking, kept searching, and Everyday Witch had the teacher sitting in the floor in yoga pose teaching her students, and the title is Mentor. And I said, that's what works for me. teacher, mentor, because that is some of the further down keywords you will run across after Pope and after, the religious connotations. And so that was something that I could latch on to, was teacher and mentor. First tarot deck rehomed. I've only rehomed one deck out of my collection thus far. And that was that deck that had the two sides. My friend Katie, Weather Shaman ASMR, liked that deck. She would always want me to do readings for her with that deck. And so when I got into the Kickstarter for the keyword edition, first of all, I thought it would be a short period of time and I would have the deck. And then I learned it was going to be months later. I gave her the two-sided deck, and then went without that in my life for quite some months. And she offered it back, and I was like, no, it was supposed to be yours. And so it's hers, and I think she treasures it. She uses it. First tarot deck that touched you emotionally. I put two. I wrote two down. One being the Native American tarot, because that hit me in the feels, because it was connected to my late husband, John. So I guess in some ways that was my first emotional bond, was with that deck for that reason. But the first one that spoke to me on an emotional level was Shadowscapes. And in a lot of ways, that deck is my soul deck. It just, that was the first deck that really spoke to my spirit and spoke to me intuitively. Yeah, Shadowscapes was it. First tarot inspired artwork that you made. Honey, you do not want me to draw anything, because the extent of my artistic ability is a stick man, little wop-sided hat and a big old balloon type shoes. He's a sad looking somebody. I wish I was artistic in that way, but that is not my truth. So I do not have any inspired artwork that I made. I have artwork that inspires me, that was created by other people. And one of those is here on my space. This is Athene's Karmic Relationship. And I absolutely love this print. But it sits here on my space. My nose keeps itching, excuse me. And then I have other pieces that speak to me as well. And Lenaria 33. I had bought a used deck of hers, and she sent me some prints from her Iris Tarot, and she sent me, just so happens, the Temperance card, or the two chalices, the red and the blue, and it's on the background. It's in my living room. I would show you, but it's got a special place in there. but it is beautiful. And that was before I knew Temperance was going to be my card for this year. So yes, those are my two main inspiring art pieces. None created by me, I'm sorry. So that completes Logan's hashtag of the Tarot First. If you're going to make a VR to this hashtag, let me know down below. I would love to come watch yours and see what your first were. I will have a link to Logan's video down below in the description box, so go see him and give him some support and some love. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you. I appreciate your support and you coming to watch my videos. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you like my videos, again, consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up. Comment down below. Let me know what you like, what you don't, what resonates. Give suggestions for other content you'd like to see me to create. Give me feedback on what I could have done differently or better in this video or some of my others. Share my videos with your friends. All of these things will raise me in the algorithm and help my small channel to grow. And I am truly grateful for everything that you do to help my channel to grow. So you will be seeing me again soon in another hashtag VR or an unboxing or my monthly deck picks or one of my daily collectives in between. So thank you for watching. Hope you keep coming back, and see you soon. Bye.